Hi folks, this is Danny at Bradley James Classics and welcome to another walk around video. Now today's car is very recognisable, pretty much iconic, and it's one of the few cars that even the very young visitors to our business park here in North Hampshire always seem to recognise, of course, from Harry Potter fame. That is the Ford Anglia 105e. Now this one is a extra special 105e in my opinion. Now for starters, it is so early it actually bears a registration plate of EV. Now those in the know will know that the original launch press cars from Ford all had registration EV, so that shows you just how early it is. So this complete survivor of a car that's covered just 27,000 miles since new in 1960. 1960 was the first period that these cars were available, and in fact it's so early that it actually bears the colour scheme of the Ford 100e Anglia, and this colour, which is not generally available on a 105e, is actually called Shark Blue and Pompadour Blue. So it is a fantastic combination of the two colours contrasting so well together. So this one ought to be a great conversation point at the car shows. It's totally original, it's never been restored, it has been professionally repainted at great cost because pretty much every panel was a little faded and it had suffered through the years paint fade and old paint. So it was treated to a body respray that cost £4,500. So that's something you'll never have to have done. Now the car itself has never been welded, it doesn't need any welding, and it is absolutely rock solid. It's lovely under the engine bay as well. In fact, the only real imperfection with the whole car as we look round is that the driver's seat, which again, all original, now that one's worn and torn, and I'll show you that on the walk around video. But other than that, the car does look stunning. Little things that you pick up on, those wheel embellishers are completely correct and they're really in amazingly good condition. It's been treated to a new set of tyres. I'm going to show you under the engine bay as well, because I did promise you that we'd have a look and see how clean that is. The chrome work is in excellent condition, and this particular model is in deluxe. Now the early cars, there's a couple of different versions. You get a super and deluxe. Later on they went on to have an estate version. Now the deluxe, it's funny because it's called a deluxe, has rubber mats, rubber carpets, which we'll have a look at in a minute. But if I get in close, I'm going to show you panel by panel just how lovely this paintwork is. It is absolutely arrow straight, really excellent paintwork. There's not a single blemish. That looks really sharp. Just scroll around the front as if you were here looking at the car yourself. And it really does look as good up close as it does in these photographs. Get in closely and walk down this wing. Just get right down here and see how good that is. Absolutely arrow straight, great door gaps, and it's all about originality. Now, of course, the paintwork isn't original because it's been repainted, but it is so good to have an early super low mileage car. Now the first owner had the car from 1960 through to 1988, so 28-year ownership with the first owner. It's showing 4 previous owners now, but it did change hands in fairly quick succession, and I believe through some conversations with Owners Club, I believe that number plate was reapplied for because I think at some point in its life it had a number plate WAM18. WAM18 might have been an 80s music fan perhaps, but this is back on her original plate, which is a great thing to do. I'm not an expert on number plates, but I do know that something like EV, which is the car's nickname, sometimes the number plates are often more valuable than what the cars were, and that's why so many old classic cars don't have their original number plates, because EV is going to be someone's initials or name, and these number plates alone can often be worth many thousands of pounds. I'm assuming that perhaps this little one with just 4 numbers and 2 letters, that in itself is probably worth at least a couple of thousand on its own. So we love to keep enough cars and the plates together, but of course things happen and number plates do get transferred off. What a shame to lose this one. So originality is everything, and talking original, let's have a little look inside and just remind you what a very early 105e looked like. So first things first, now these, look at these, the mats on the floor, look at that. Rubber matting as it would have come back in 1960, incredible. You can see this rear seat is in very good condition considering its age. That two-tone was quite lovely back in the day, and that original headlining is in remarkable order considering we're talking about a car which is 1960. My God, if I'm not mistaken, that makes this car, it's heading to 70 years old. I mean, it's remarkable. Really nice inside. Look at that lovely shiny dashboard. If you wanted to open the car, now here's a clue that actually Ford is an American company because they call it a hood. And in order to open the hood, you pull that. We'll have a little look in there next. A dinky little ashtray. Basic controllers, you always had to pull for boost. Choke. A 4-speed box, which is a big improvement over the previous Anglia. That only had the 3-speed box. All these is in such good condition. Seems like it's locked. Steering wheel only having done 27,000 miles in good condition. We don't worry, we do have the Anglia badge. I think that was taken off because we slightly adjusted the position of the steering wheel. It's lovely that it's even got the original keys. And there's a nice Anglia fob there. This is the lights that you just pull, and there's your speedo and 27,000 miles. Pretty basic, but there's not, you won't find any ECU ports and electrics here, and very simple windscreen wipers. Now, big upgrade over the previous Anglia because these are actually electric, whereas the early Anglia, for those in the know, will remember they were vacuum operated. Not so on this modern Anglia. And down here, if we give that a push, there you go, there's the washers, and then a low level shelf. Really lovely and original. Look how lovely that survived so well. Things like this, you know, it's just lovely original pieces. This has got a vast history file that comes with the car. It's in a big box folder. You'll be very happy. It's even got old versions of logbooks, all in the A post. That's all wax oiled through there, which explains why this car is still present. And there's those contrasting door cards as well. And all of this, well, look at how good the passenger seat is. That's all in very nice condition, but I'm afraid the driver's seat has not fared so well, and we've got this rather unpleasant and unsightly split in the seat. Now, as a possibility, we could look into finding one of our specialists to repair that, but at the moment our usual trim guy unfortunately isn't taking on any work, hence having to sell the car as it is, but that has been adjusted in the price. So that wonderful invention of the inboard rear sloping screen, and of course those fins, which is so 1950s Ford, I guess. Doesn't that look wonderful? There's not very many bad angles on this car. A pretty generous sized boot, and the Anglia always handled so well. You know, they were available in the 2-engine size, 997 like this one, or the 1200, which I believe came out a little later. Let's have a look under the hood, as the Americans call it. And as you can see, lovely, all painted even under the bonnet. All these inner wings are in excellent order. These strut tops, all original. A nice bit of polished up brass there. The airbox is lovely, as is this heater blower that looks to have been powder coated, as is the rocker cover, and the engine is nice and dry of oil. It's running its original pump, and everything looks very nice underneath here as well. the original horn, just as it should be. Very, very pleasant under here. So, this pipe work all in excellent order, all the electrics. Let's have a look at the other side. Running the original dynamo, so clean and tidy. Looks like it's got a new top hose. The car looks to be very, very clean under the bonnet. I can certainly vouch for it driving ever so well. You've got drum brakes all round with these cars, but very pleasant. It's lovely to see these are correct and original. So let's have a final pan round this wonderful example of the earliest Ford Anglia 105e that you're likely to find for sale, right back from 1960, the very first models, wearing the Ford number plate, which the press were showing off when this car was new. Quite a thing, I'd imagine, to replace the old boxy Anglia of the 50s. Super desirable, always bring a smile to people's faces, and as I say, because of the Harry Potter involvement, the kids love these cars as well. This actual car was used for a fairly recent one of the local families here asked to if I could use one of my classic cars, particularly wanted to use this one. I was very happy to oblige. So 1960 Ford Anglia 105e, just 27,000 miles, showing just 4 previous owners in all those years. Yeah, 65 years old, incredible. So both tax and MOT exempt, pretty cheap to insure these classic cars, usually somewhere in the region of £100, maybe 150 maximum, to insure one of these cars on a limited mileage, about 5,000–6,000 miles a year, and low cost motoring. And I think if you buy a lovely example like this, I think you can protect your investment. And if you keep her long enough, you may well find that this car could end up returning you more than what you paid for it, because lovely examples like this, not a heavily restored car at all, just repainted, lovely and original. They're only original once, and this is an example of a special car. So folks, thank you very much for watching today's video. I must point out that we can deliver this car anywhere in the UK for a reasonable price. We just require your postcode. We can also part exchange your existing classic car, or perhaps even a modern car or a light commercial. We prefer classics, of course. And we can drop this one off and take away your old car, all part of the service. So we'd need your postcode for a cost of delivery, but please do get in touch if you'd like to come and see and drive this wonderful car. And if you do have any other questions, please let us know. Notice the badges are in good condition as well. I hope I've shown you enough, and I hope you see just how lovely this car is, how lovely the respray has treated this car to a new lease of life. From a bodywork point of view, it's really good chrome, lovely door gaps, bar the driver's side door. Everything is in incredibly good condition. Thank you very much for watching today's video, folks. It's Annie from James Classics.